In a time of deep division, when Americans often find themselves at odds over core values and beliefs, the Supreme Court delivered a rare and resounding message of unity with a unanimous 9-0 decision, standing together despite their own differences. The case, National Rifle Association versus Vullo, affirmed that government officials cannot use their power to punish or silence speech they dislike, no matter how controversial or unpopular that speech may be. This wasn't just about the NRA, it was about protecting free speech for everyone, regardless of politics, background, or beliefs. The decision reinforces that the First Amendment belongs to all Americans. A unanimous decision from the court signals that the principle at stake is fundamental and beyond debate, cutting across ideological lines and sending a powerful signal to the nation. The ruling has broad implications, affecting how government interacts with businesses, advocacy groups, and citizens nationwide. It sets a precedent that will shape future cases and government conduct for years to come. It draws a clear line. Officials cannot use regulatory threats or their positions of authority to suppress viewpoints, even indirectly. This decision is a check on jawboning. When officials pressure companies to act without passing laws, reminding those in power that influence must not become coercion. The court's stance ensures the marketplace of ideas stays open, protecting even unpopular or minority opinions, and encouraging robust public debate. By setting this boundary, the court shields Americans from indirect censorship, defending the right to speak freely without fear of government retaliation. The message is clear. Free speech is a right for all, and government overreach will not be tolerated. The Supreme Court's decision stands as a powerful reminder of the enduring strength of the First Amendment. The Supreme Court's 2024-2025 term focused on reinforcing the legal system's foundations. Instead of wading into every culture war, the justices clarified the limits of judicial and agency power. Many cases saw unexpected consensus, with unanimous or near-unanimous decisions. The court examined the reach of federal agencies and the use of nationwide injunctions, shaping how laws are implemented. Major rulings also affected state policies on education, Medicaid, and employment discrimination. Within this context, the NRA vs. Vullo decision capped a term dedicated to defining government limits. The justices, despite ideological differences, united to protect a core First Amendment principle. This set a powerful precedent for future cases of government overreach. The NRA v. Vullo case began in New York in the aftermath of the tragic Parkland shooting, a moment that reignited fierce national debate over gun control and the responsibilities of public officials. In response, Maria Vullo, a top state financial regulator, launched an investigation targeting NRA-endorsed insurance programs, which were marketed to gun owners and members. Vullo's investigation pressured insurers to sever ties with the NRA, resulting in several companies halting their business and paying hefty fines for alleged violations. The NRA argued that this went far beyond standard regulation, claiming Vullo used her authority to pressure banks and insurers to cut ties, with the intent to cripple the NRA financially and undermine its influence. Public statements and official guidance letters from both Vullo and Governor Cuomo urged companies to reconsider doing business with gun groups, warning of potential reputational risks. The NRA further alleged that Vullo offered leniency on unrelated regulatory matters if companies agreed to drop the NRA, describing it as a campaign of threats, inducements, and backroom pressure. The central legal question emerged. Did Vullo's actions cross the line from permissible government persuasion into unconstitutional coercion, violating the First Amendment? While the government can enforce laws and express its own opinions, it cannot use its power to suppress or punish disfavored speech, especially when it comes to advocacy groups. The NRA claimed Vullo's actions were a veiled attempt to silence their voice, chilling their advocacy and threatening the rights of all groups to speak freely. The Supreme Court was asked to draw a clear line, defining where government persuasion ends and unconstitutional coercion begins, a question with broad implications. The outcome of this case would set a crucial boundary for free speech and government power in America, shaping the future of advocacy and dissent. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous opinion by Justice Sotomayor, ruled for the NRA. The justices found the NRA plausibly alleged that Vullo's actions violated the First Amendment. Officials can criticize, but cannot use regulatory power to coerce private parties into suppressing speech. The court revived the NRA's lawsuit, emphasizing the difference between government speech and coercion. Vullo's alleged conduct, combining regulatory authority with explicit calls to punish the NRA, could be seen as an unconstitutional threat. The court outlined factors for identifying coercion authority, tone, and context. The case now returns to lower courts, but the precedent is set. The ruling warns officials, indirect censorship is as unconstitutional as direct punishment. Government cannot use back-channel pressure to silence speech. The decision strengthens First Amendment protections for all. The NRA vs. Vullo decision immediately reshapes the legal landscape for advocacy groups across the spectrum. Any group, liberal or conservative, can now challenge officials who pressure businesses to cut ties over political views. The ruling reinforces the marketplace of ideas, protecting even controversial groups from financial strangulation by government. It also impacts the media. Officials can't threaten platforms over content moderation without risking constitutional violations. The decision strengthens private platforms' independence and the free flow of information. However, it raises new questions about the line between persuasion and coercion, likely leading to more litigation. Courts will need to carefully analyze each case's facts. The ruling didn't end the debate, it gave society a new framework for it. The conversation about government's role in regulating business and speech continues. The economic impact of NRA v. Vullo is significant for advocacy groups and businesses alike. Advocacy organizations now have greater financial security, knowing regulators can't pressure their business partners to cut ties. For banks and insurers, the ruling clarifies that caving to government coercion is improper and potentially unconstitutional. Companies can now resist improper requests, citing the Supreme Court's decision. The ruling may embolden businesses to make decisions based on financial logic, not political pressure. Public-led movements, not government threats, will drive corporate change. The decision separates state power from citizen activism in the economic sphere. Regulatory actions must be tied to clear legal violations, not political whims. This stability benefits the economy and protects the free market from improper interference. Economic relationships should be based on business, not a regulator's agenda. Legal experts across the spectrum have praised the NRA v. Vullo decision for defending First Amendment rights. The ACLU, which represented the NRA, called it a landmark victory for all advocacy groups. Conservative scholars agree. The ruling checks the administrative state and blocks regulatory blockades for political ends. Justice Sotomayor's authorship of the unanimous opinion highlights the nonpartisan nature of the principle. The decision signals that protection against government coercion is fundamental, not ideological. Experts agree this case will guide courts for years, providing a clear test for government coercion. The line between persuasion and coercion is clearer now. The decision ensures public debate remains fair and open to all viewpoints. The NRA v. Vullo decision builds on the landmark 1963 Bantam Books precedent, a case that barred informal government censorship and set a crucial standard for free speech protections in America. In Bantam Books, state officials used threats and pressure tactics to suppress speech they disapproved of. The Supreme Court found this behavior to be unconstitutional, reinforcing that government cannot sidestep the First Amendment through intimidation. In the Vullo case, the regulators' actions, sending guidance letters, enforcing regulations, and allegedly making private threats, created a similar atmosphere of intimidation and fear among those targeted. The court reasoned that regulatory power must never be used to advance a political agenda or punish speakers simply because their views are disfavored by those in power. This decision places real limits on the administrative state, ensuring that agencies act strictly within their legal purpose and do not overstep their authority. The framework protects everyone. Regulators cannot threaten banks over oil, unions, or any group based on their viewpoint, no matter how controversial or unpopular. The government retains the right to argue, persuade, and legislate, but it cannot cross the line into coercing private actors to silence speech or punish dissent. The Vullo decision makes this rule unmistakably clear for the modern era, reaffirming the boundaries of government power in a rapidly changing society. It's a shield for every group, regardless of their politics or beliefs, ensuring that all voices can be heard without fear of government retaliation. The First Amendment's protection against government coercion is now firmly established, safeguarding free expression for generations to come. The Supreme Court's unanimous decision in NRA v. Vullo is a powerful reaffirmation of a core American principle. Government cannot silence dissent. The ruling draws a bright line between persuasion and unconstitutional pressure. It shields advocacy groups and businesses from financial targeting by hostile regulators. The decision protects the marketplace of ideas, ensuring debate is won by argument, not intimidation. The same standard that protects one group today can protect another tomorrow. The ruling is a call to vigilance. Citizens must hold leaders accountable to this standard. Policy debates should be won through open persuasion, not regulatory threats. The court has given us a tool to defend free speech for generations. Its message of unity and liberty is one we must all uphold.